Welcome back, everyone. J-Bone here for Total Nonstop Impact. Wow, what a freaking show, man! What a freaking show! Unbelievable. Um, Before we dive into all the results here, and honestly, I think we're going to try to keep this short and sweet tonight. Already did a 3+ hour um, live reaction. I gotta get my Z's. I'm working tomorrow. So, but as we go through this stuff, let me know what you thought of the show. Give me your honest opinion. Likes, dislikes, whatever. Let me know. Let the Bone Man know. But first and foremost, you guys know what to do. Um, I'm just looking at the chat. The chat's already on fire. Smash that like button, smash that sub button, ring that bell for notifications. Please check out all the links in the description of the video. Gotta say right away, before we got live, thank you to the Bells Boy. Thank you so much. Super chat says, this must be very serious. Ash said, I'll miss you, but never said she would come back as they usually do when they need to vacate a title. First, the Masha mess, now this. The Knockouts division is a mess. Well, at least they have a decent amount of women on the roster that can help keep the ship afloat. You know what I mean? They have the most knockouts ever on roster. And yeah, this is a bummer. And yeah, we should still celebrate a new knockouts title. They made history tonight, but we do have to mention Ash, and this is going to be a bit out of order. So, well, let's talk about Ash first. Let's give her that. Um, let's talk about it. She comes out here. Well, because we had the okay, so we had the quick match between Order 4 and the System. That was like what, 5-minute match. It was really, really short. And then we had Santino and Carlos Silva in the mat in the ring, excuse me, with um with Ash by Elegance. And she wasn't in her ring gear. And I thought she was going to just I envisioned her just playing it up as a heel. Oh, we're in Edmonton, Alberta, Canada. Yeah, just just being a heel, and then we get like a new knockout to shake things up. And by the way, this is your new number one contender for Bound for Glory in 2 weeks. Something like that. I had no clue that um that she was going to give up the title, but you could see the look on her face was pretty solemn right off the bat, and it was like, ooh. And um I do look, and I'm not going to sit here and pretend I know everything. I don't. But from what it sounds like, it doesn't sound like it's physical. It doesn't sound like um it doesn't sound like it's doesn't sound like it's a career ending injury. I think it's mental health. And this industry can take a toll on you. It really can. You you got to be tough to do this. And um, whatever she's got going on, she's got to get herself. She's got to do whatever she's got to do for herself. I did not know, but apparently she oh, Bill. Bill says he's gonna jump on in a minute. All right, good to know, man. Thank you. Um, I didn't know if you were gonna be able to. I didn't talk to you. I saw you in the crowd, and I was glad that you got there safe. And I think the highlight is got to be seeing you and AJ Francis doing the money, money, money thing. That's always fun. But yeah, all right. So we are going to get Bill in here. The chat's just on fire. I can't keep up with it. Um, oh, this is interesting. I did not see this. Hey, J Bone, I saw Tops made has a made to order card on their site till Sunday of the TNA Invasion roster standing tall in the ring for $9. Oh man. Well, you know what? Um, I've been getting some different cards lately. I showed Bill these, and I'll show you guys these. Um, Now, I don't want you guys freaking out or nothing. These are former TNA guys, former WWE guys. They're now AEW guys. But we got Josh Alexander from his debut in AEW. Had to get Josh. Love Josh. And then I um, also got MVP and Bobby Lashley. So had to get those. But I also ordered AJ Lee, her comeback. I ordered that card, so that one's coming in the mail soon. But yeah, I'm definitely gonna have to get that NXT/TNA Invasion one. That is sick. I didn't think we'd be getting one of those. That's pretty cool. Um, just going over the chat here a little bit. Um, yeah, it's real sad. It's real sad about Ash. Um, I mean, I hope she does come back someday, but it doesn't look like it's. And I'm sure we'll hear more in the days and weeks to come, hopefully through some reliable news source. We'll talk about it here if we hear anything. Oh, and we got. Oh, wait. I think he's ready. I'm waiting for the signal. I'm waiting. All right. So, oh, Bill's making sure all of his bells and whistles are working before I bring him in. But yeah, it's such a bummer. We'll get Bill in here soon. Um, Hearing his opinion on stuff. I think he's connecting stuff to his laptop. That's what he's doing. Um, but we ended up getting the Battle Royal, which the Battle Royal seemed a little clunky to me. But I mean, I know that this was. Um, I know that this was all done really quickly. You know, in a sense, it felt like it was kind of last minute put together. Um, Hang on one second. So, it is what it is. It wasn't perfect. I've seen better battle royals before, but so the winners were Kelani Jordan and Yǐng Lee, and it was interesting. It was interesting that Kelani Jordan was in there, and they. Oh,
Yo, Jay.
what's up?
Got everything squared away. It was just I was good. I wasn't hearing you good on my buds, so I finally got
Oh,
the
okay.
correct setting. So
Okay. Yeah, just making sure all the settings are good. Okay. So,
yeah.
well, welcome. Hang on one second. This is really bothering me. Let me. There we go. I had to flip you around. The backwards hat was really bothering me. All right. So, first, and we'll go over this stuff, but first impression of the show there. It seemed like a great audience. What did you think?
Oh yeah, it was definitely. It's a town that was waiting for TNA. That this was their time to get it. Like they haven't had TNA visit them before, so
Yeah.
you could tell the waiting and wanting was there. So no, they were there. They were there for TNA. It felt like some other towns like that they don't get to, uh, where there's just like a starvation for like wrestling in general.
Oh, yeah.
But I think the TNA, like I think there was also a bunch of people like very familiar with the product, which was good. So it tells you. And you heard NXT chants as well from the crowd.
Yeah.
So the partnership's working
It is.
for this market for sure.
Yeah. I mean, you're gonna have fans of wrestling in general. They're gonna love TNA. They're watching the NXT stuff and or WWE. So um so what is what we were just talking about Ash and her relinquishing of the title, which really came out of nowhere. Now we already talked about the Masha stuff, so I really don't want to rehash that. But what do you think about all this stuff with Ash, do you think it sounds more like a mental health thing than a physical thing? What do you think?
No, I obviously by being there, I did not see. I know people are saying people on the roster were making comments and stuff, which were maybe leading people to think certain ways about it. I'd have to look at them to see if that has kind of any influence. The only thing that I know, this was what, January. I heard from somebody that they thought Ash might be winding things down later this year because
Really?
she got married, like maybe start a family type thing. Like maybe
Oh,
that would be kind of the setup for that, and that would be like a transition off, like within the Elegance brand, something like that. But then
oh,
it's like with the push with the Knockouts title and all, maybe things had changed, and she was more kind of moving forward.
with the flow, yeah,
Like maybe going, okay, yeah, that can wait another year or something like that.
yeah.
You just never know. But uh, now, once again, something totally different could happen. But based on what we saw, it seems like the plan obviously was going to be for her to hand this off to Masha. That was going to be the transition
Hmm.
if she was going to work that match. Uh, and then obviously they did a pivot with everything going down the last couple days.
Oh,
Uh,
yeah.
so, but now I'm hoping it's like nothing. Yeah, because like if you're talking mental health and stuff like that, like hopefully that's not the case with Ash, because obviously all big fans of her here, wishing her the best.
Oh,
Hopefully it's
yeah.
only good things. That's be the reason, but I know it's not the target. But obviously, her getting that title run, I think that was a pinnacle moment of her career. So
Yeah,
maybe she kind of
absolutely.
now accomplished what she wanted to accomplish. Like that
Yeah.
was kind of her goal in these last couple years. But yeah, I'm definitely yeah, because it wasn't one of those things like where like I'll see you later. It just seemed like yeah, like
Right.
that's it.
Yeah, it was very emotional. I mean, I'm sure some stuff will come out eventually, and not that we have to know everything. It's just it was so abrupt, you know. It was like, oh man, you know, it's we love her and we wish the best for her, no matter what it is. You know, it's a bummer. You know, she really was doing well. You know, so. Um, But yeah, then we got the battle royal out of it. Ying Lee and Kelani Jordan um, are the winners, and then we're told that later they're going to, battle for the vacant TNA champion knockouts title.
I'm 100%
Crazy.
with you. Like yeah, like I'll tell you though, like if you told me going into today's show, uh, we were gonna have a new champion and it'd be Kalani Parker, I I I obviously I think what has Kalani been in? I'd have to check. I don't know if Critical Sting's
She's
around. Like two
she's
matches on TNA
I don't
previously.
maybe I'm not sure if any, but she has had a successful NXT run. She was the inaugural words, the inaugural NXT Women's North American champion when they got their own like mid, you know, mid title. Um, and she held that for a while, So I was watching her do that, and excuse me, she was very good at it. She really was.
But it is
Um,
interesting how they're approaching this though, because she was coming off very babyface as an NXT talent,
she
which is
was.
very different for someone to be a baby face from the other brand with a belt.
Yeah.
See if that can stay that way or if that will switch.
Especially with the invasion storyline. Right. Yeah. And there was a fair amount of people. Terrence says this is her first TNA appearance. Okay. I didn't think she had one before, but I wasn't sure. She's very popular. She's pretty popular in NXT. She's quite the baby face. And I mean, and it's not like we have to have a heel, but with the invasion thing going on, yeah, it's easy to boo her, Well, especially because it's like, oh man, now Carlos Silva had to hand a title off to another NXT woman, We had JC Jane, Ash got it back, and now it hot potatoed back to NXT, and I'm okay with the hot potato stuff. So we've talked about that before. We don't get a lot of that. We haven't seen a lot of that. We've seen a lot of like multi-month, almost, over a year run, depending on what title you're talking about in TNA. So I'm okay with a little bit of back and forth. It just keeps it interesting. Do you think that's where we're going with this for a while?
This definitely feels like the whole idea of the invasion angle and like post-bound for glory. It's got to be a heavy NXT focus. I think this is all telling us. Like we'll get to it later, but we see the X Division title match is now booked. It's once again, it's a lot of roster versus roster.
It is, and I had a feeling that's what we were going to see, and not necessarily every match, but we are going to see that at Bound for Glory. So, all right. So next we get, and this is wild. This crowd, this might be the most over I've ever seen the hometown man build. We get Matt Cardona, and who knew Matt Cardona was so popular up north? I mean,
that's funny.
Matt Cardona, the hometown man, versus the Nemeth brothers. And it was funny, they were calling Ryan Nemeth bug-eyed because he was very, creepy. That's that Hollywood getting to him, He's got the Hollywood bug. He's got to be over dramatic about everything. But yeah, your thoughts on this tag match? I mean, there was a lot of highs and lows, and I felt like this kind of like was able to switch gears a little bit away from the emotional stuff from the knockouts.
Agreed. Although it was interesting, this matchup, because obviously the hometown man. There you go, Canadian by marriage. But no, it was. I think it was done right. Where like although even initially you had the Nemeths very over. Until they started doing their in-ring shenanigans.
Yeah.
But I think it was right. Hometown man goes over on Ryan, but then you have an aftermath where the Nemeths are looking strong, even though they lost the match. So
Matthew says Yǐng Lee losing was freaking scandalous. Oh my goodness.
Scandalous. Well, no, I think that it wasn't the plan yet. Like they just put her and Zaya in a tag team with a name, the Age of Warriors.
Yeah.
I did, like they were going to pivot. Now they could have pivoted all in, but I don't think that was the plan because I think they probably not necessarily were giving it to another NXT talent that quick, but I think Masha was going to work a lot of NXT. Was probably the plan, and that all blew up in their face.
Yeah.
At least for the time being. So
Yeah, right.
they had to do a pivot there. So it was like, okay, is there another designated roster member right now that can fill that gap and do like almost weekly NXT television coming out of Bound for Glory, which I think is part of the requirement, or do you pivot to somebody on their roster with your title? And that's what they did.
Yeah. But yeah, so Cardona and hometown man get a win. But those darn Nemeth brothers, they got the mask off of hometown man, and
I can't believe they removed his mask. Good thing Cardona was a good brother there and covered the face with his shirt.
Yeah, he did. He did. He's a good brother, absolutely. So yeah. Next we switch gears to Mike Santana versus Ridge Holland. Man, Ridge Holland is a big boy. Holy
he is a big boy.
And for those of you that might be confused by all this Ridge Holland stuff, Ridge Holland was hired by Trick Williams to attack Mike Santana and
pretty much
soften him up for Bound for Glory. Well, Mike Santana got a hell of a win here, and Ridge Holland he put on a good match. I haven't seen Ridge Holland in a while, and I know he's had some controversy with all the Big E stuff, and he went down to NXT now for a while. What'd you think of all this?
Well, but he did accomplish his goal in the end because he did kind of get them all ready for Trick to show up and get advantage. So he was taking Santana pretty close to the limit out there. He was impressive. I haven't really watched Ridge Holland that much, and he was in person more impressive. So kudos to him. He is a big boy. In ring, he knows how to use it. He definitely can muscle up and do some power moves. So Santana is going to be sore in the morning from that one. And then just add in insult to injury with the Trick Williams attack after the match. So as you proudly wear your Trick and A shirt.
Yep. Get that merch. It's for sale. Bad Gamer thinks that Trick is dropping the title at Bound for Glory. It's hard to say.
Could. I don't think he will, but he could.
Yeah. Bill and I have gone back and forth on this for a while now, and Bill has kind of a more of the business way of thinking about this than like the fan way of thinking about this. So, but we'll see. We're getting there. Next few weeks are going to be very interesting. So we'll see if Ridge Holland stays with Tricky Williams, or if he's just going to get dumped somewhere now because of this. Now, this next match was I'd say definitely one of the best matches of the night. Moose versus Mustafa Ali. Wow. This could have been a headliner somewhere. Seriously.
Yeah, you can't go wrong with this one. You knew it would be a good match, you just weren't sure how good of a match it would be. And I think they over delivered what I was even expecting, and I had pretty high expectations.
Yeah. I was a little surprised by the Mustafa Ali win, but
yeah, I'm not. Order 4, if you look at what's been going on, Order 4 is coming out on top most of the time in this feud.
They've been killing it. Yeah, and with Tosh, and I didn't realize this, but they were saying that during the match, the 3 dancers at the top of the stage, one of them was replaced, which I don't think they showed that.
Oh yeah, they made sure not to be too much with that, because technically she was banned from ringside.
Right.
She should not have been out there.
No. So she stayed, covered up like the rest of them, like the belly dancers, and she ended up low blowing Moose, and that's how, what led to Moose losing the match. Mm-hmm. But man, Order 4 is, as much as you want to boo them, they're the smartest ones on the block right now.
100%.
Crazy.
So, they're doing well. They're doing well. I gotta give them their kudos. They're knocking it out of the park today. So yeah, don't know those other dancers. My guess it was some indie talent, but I'm not. I could not.
Yeah, that's usually.
My guess is local, maybe to this area of Canada. But yeah, I can't fathom a guess.
Yeah. So with this win, then they have the advantage going into the hardcore war at Bound for Glory in 2 weeks.
Yes.
Which is kind of like War Games in a sense. Kind of, sort of. Yeah. All right, what do we got next here? Eric Yǐng versus Joe Hendry. This match,
who the Bioflex was telling us he might not even compete tonight, Joe Hendry.
Right, because he was
attacked. He gets on the mic and he won't say his name, J-Bone, for quite a while.
Yeah, he was just like, he won't be here tonight. I was like, oh, really? Well, he was going to show up. It takes a lot more than that to knock out Joe Hendry. He's a tough SOB. And did you notice that guy in the background? Couple rows back, holding up that sign for the whole match.
Oh yeah, the cleanse.
Still says the cleanse is coming. I thought
EY might need it to come pretty soon. It doesn't seem like the cleanse is helping him out lately.
Yeah, I don't know. I thought I'm like we got to keep an eye at during the live reaction. I said, we got to keep an eye on this guy. I said, if he starts taking a few steps forward, someone's going to get involved. But no, he stayed there the whole time. He didn't budge.
He did not.
There was a couple comments during the live reaction commenting about Joe. And I said I hadn't heard anything recently. But I said, yeah, that would be great if Joe came back to help Eric. We would love that, but we don't know how he's doing. So,
yeah, I'd love to see that, but I don't see that happening anytime soon.
Yeah. And I thought maybe we were going to get a reveal tonight about this guy holding up the sign.
The henchman.
Yeah, like who is the henchman? Who is
this guy?
Who is gonna help partake in all this cleansing? someone's going to come out with a cape. It's going to be Captain Roto-Rooter or something. I don't know.
It might be.
I still say it's going to be Cross, but I don't know. I think it'd be perfect.
Yeah, it's interesting. Haven't seen him for quite a while.
If it's
he's doing a couple indies, but that's about it.
If it's not going to be like tonight at Victory Road, something's got to happen at Bound for Glory. It's got to be. But we'll wait and see. But Joe Hendry comes off with a win here. Lucked out.
It's good to see him back in the winning ways.
Yeah. It's
everybody always saying all he does is lose, so it's not.
No, he's been
get her a couple wins.
He's been going through a bit of a rough streak, but we also know that people leaving a company, you typically go out on their back, and that's just how it goes in the business, So we'll see, but yeah, he'll at least have one more match at Bound for Glory. Beyond that, we'll have to wait and see. AJ Francis versus Matt Hardy gets turned into a table match.
Preview of Bound for Glory.
A little preview, yeah. I don't think either Bubba or Devon are quite as big as AJ Francis, but this match, I would say it was still money.
No doubt.
He still came up to you for the cameo.
Well, it was again from the penthouse and the countdown to match here. Obviously, we haven't seen Matt do a ton solo, so seeing him doing a little solo work tonight, and then AJ obviously as the corresponding partner and all this. And once again, like I think that they're able to put a good table match. Like the amount of like weapons matches that AJ Francis has been in since he's been in TNA, it's kind of shocking how many he's been in. Like he does not mind going through tables, ladders, chairs. Like he's Full Metal Mayhem AJ Francis. So he mixes well with the Hardys.
He is.
And it does feel like this is kind of like from the promo earlier, which was good to see. Like he was like, hey, neither our partners are here. So that they're kind of acknowledging it because like I keep seeing it on there, but haven't seen Rich Homie Swan. So I'm like, I don't know, like what's going on. Like will we be making, but it does, it implies, it feels like post Team 3D, it's going to be Hardys and First Class.
It could be.
That's the feud.
It'd be good. I'd like to see that, and if it's not going to be KC Navarro, I'm glad that Swan is back to represent and, take that team to the next level because with the charisma of both could just take it. Blow the roof off the place, honestly.
Oh yeah.
Love them or hate them. So, next we get the Knockouts title match. Indi Hartwell in her special guest referee outfit. That was cute.
She put in the work. She trained hard for her reffing duty. She took that seriously.
She did.
Down the middle, and she even took a bump.
She did. Yeah,
a ref bump worthy of all the great ref bumps. You would think she was like thrown off the top of a building when she took that ref bump.
You're right.
As a performer, it's like oh my goodness gracious.
Yeah,
but that's a good job. That's what you expect. That they get a stiff wind, a referee, and they tend to go sack of potatoes.
Yeah. Yeah, but Lei Ying Lee versus Kelani Jordan, and I tell you, this is Yeah, I hadn't seen Kelani Jordan in a singles match in a long time.
Well, that's what
But
I was thinking. I thought it was in TNA. It was in NXT. She fought Rosemary.
okay, yeah, that
So it
sounds
was
about
more
right.
when we
Yeah,
were crossing over there. That was that was where it was.
I think it was
So
like before the partnership was
it was the
actually
early when
official.
just some people were going over. I think it's like when she was tagging with like Wendy Chu era type
Yeah,
stuff, and I thought
yeah,
they were going
there
to
you
win
go.
the tag belts, but
There you go. So, but yeah. So, what did you think of this match between the two?
I thought it was very good. I saw a little bit of Kelani. I saw her. I think I saw her at NXT a couple times when I was watching that during the partnership, and I was like, "Oh, pretty good, pretty good." But seeing her, like, because honestly, the way they kind of rolled this out, this battle royal, as you were saying, like, was kind of obviously was right out of the blue.
Yeah,
They didn't even give entrances. Everyone just walked out and honestly, initially, I didn't even notice her in the group of people. Like it's once the match started, I'm like, wait, who's a second? Who's that? Because there was a
right.
couple people. Like they intersected with the rest of the group. And then I'm like, oh wait,
Yeah,
whoa, oh, she's from NXT. So then I started putting it together, but they didn't like make a huge deal out of it at first. I don't know what they were doing on commentary, if they were making a
they
bigger deal from the get-go.
they
But
no, they
then
noticed
it's like,
her.
okay, that's someone to keep an eye on here. Because there was
Yeah,
a few people, like you were watching Danny Luna because of the stuff with obviously Indi. So like it would almost
yeah.
make sense if she was involved. So it kind of, and then obviously we've been saying it for Layla Yi Lee feels like she's definitely on trajectory to be a future champion.
I think
So
so.
I just
Yeah,
think it was time wise. That's probably just what happened.
yeah,
They weren't just ready to pull the trigger yet on something like that.
yeah,
Because I think there's a couple individuals like we saw on the BioFlex, also Marisade, like is should be back soon, but is out right now. Because that's
yeah.
somebody, if she was in that battle royal, I would have been like, oh, maybe they do really bring
There you
her
go.
real quick to the top.
Yeah,
But obviously that wasn't in the cards either.
yeah. But yeah, like we touched on this earlier. It's the title's now hot potatoed back to NXT. Um, and there was a lot of respect, between Kelani Jordan and Yǐng Lee. Indi Hartwell seemed a little bummed that she couldn't raise the hand of Yǐng Lee, but she didn't. It she snapped out of it pretty quick. She stayed professional. And then Ash came out and congratulated Kelani Jordan and gave her a hug and kiss, and then they all went on their way. But
Go to the Brian Myers School, being a professional.
yeah, absolutely. All right, a couple matches left here. We got the international title on the line. Kaz going after Steve Maclin's championship. But now something that was very interesting, and I didn't catch it because I was setting up the live reaction, but I heard it, was El Macias went face to face with Steve Maclin before the show.
Yes.
And I was like, whoa. I'm like, we're getting some AAA in this?
Yeah, that's interesting.
Yeah.
I'm not sure. So this happened on the broadcast.
It was on the countdown.
It was on the countdown.
But then El Macias showed up, later in the match as a distraction.
Yeah, because that's what I was gonna say. Because at the end, I'm like, what the heck? That's Judas Messias.
Yeah.
I haven't seen him in a dog's age.
Yeah. Well, he's the former. He was the Latin American champion leading up to AAA or up to Triple Mania,
Okay.
and he lost it to Dr. Wagner Jr. And so then it was kind of like, okay, so what's next for El Macias? But El Macias, he's been around for a long time.
Oh well. Obviously, during the whole Lucha Underground, Mil Muertes, he was the face of the company.
He was, yeah, he was definitely one of the top guys, and he was always killing it. And
I'll be interested to see the fallout of that, because I'm obviously like we can get more into that when we talk more about that match, but that's like we recently on one of our news shows in the last week talked about the whole Maclin defending the international title internationally, and like that kind of almost feels that plays in with that, but he's not the international champion anymore.
Right now it's Kaz, but
Kaz better get those frequent flyer miles in.
Kaz better warm up Jake something. That is one thing. I mean, match aside, that is one thing I was a little surprised. We got no Jake something here.
Yeah, no Jake. Interesting.
Yeah.
Because it did seem like they were pushing some angle with Jake and him working together, but it feels like that's the case all the time with Kaz. Like he's working with Trick, he's working with whoever. For like Ethan Page, he's working with them for like a week, and then they all get tired of his act.
Yeah. But El Macias was the one that caused the distraction here. But besides all that, what did you think about the match between Kaz and Maclin?
No, this was good. There's a lot of back and forth. It looked like a few times Maclin was going to have it, but just he was able to find his ways, his Kaz ways of sneaking out of things, and then using some things to his advantage. And that is the one thing about Maclin. It feels like during like all of his runs, he can get distracted by the interferences. So that's a lot of wrestlers, but that's obviously what happened here. Like someone can take the eye off the ball, and that happened here. And it's been a great run for Maclin as the national champion, the inaugural champion that really put that belt on. Like it gave that other secondary title some purpose that it really hadn't had.
Yeah.
So now once again, Kaz has been doing some of the best work of his career. The King Kaz, as he was the holding the cup around and everything. Now he didn't get his world title, but I know there's definitely going to be some friends of mine and people that are going to be very happy to see him get his flowers with the international title. So I think that is like well deserved by Kaz. We'll see where he takes that, but I don't want to see him now be like Maclin was putting respect on that. The way Kaz does things, if he's doing a bunch of underhanded tactics to keep the title, it might fall more into some of those old titles, the Global and the Legends and the King of the Mountain. Like, let's try not to get into that territory.
Yeah. Well, it already feels like it's a little more special. In my opinion, it feels.
Oh, I think that, but I think a lot of that's by Steve Maclin, the way he's been putting it out there like that. It's so, but we'll see. And then also, I think like the talk of the bringing it international. I think that was a good talk. Now let's see if Kaz will follow through with it too.
Yeah, bonus
it'll be international in California.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, West Coast. Bonus Baby says, "Why are you shocked, Bone? TNA and AAA have had a relationship for years, with WWE and TNA having a partnership, and WWE now owning AAA. It makes sense. It does. It was just." It's just one of those things where I don't think fans were, including myself, and I could probably speak for Bill, but um, didn't think we were going to get AAA involvement in this,
Yeah,
and
it's been a while, because obviously the most we did was the Aztec Warriors, and they've been off TV ever since they showed up that first WWE show.
yeah,
It was pretty much haven't seen them since.
yeah.
And that was the main AAA presence we've had. So, but hey, I'm on board for more. I think that's fantastic. Like we talk about it all the time. That is one aspect that they're definitely lacking right now, is in that area of luchadors, stuff like that. So AAA could fill that need. And then obviously the interesting part about that is there is a very big TNA connection with him as well. Now, once again, I don't know how much they'll focus on that, but he had a run here. That he wasn't just a one-off guy.
I believe they did mention the name Judas Macias,
Okay.
and that name goes back, I want to say almost 20 years.
Oh, yeah. He was there early.
Yeah, that was, and I was trying to remember that was what, the Sinister Minister that brought him in versus who did he face? Was it Abyss or who was it?
2007. But he was there a solid year.
Oh, to me it felt like he was in and out, like it was over pretty quick, unfortunately.
Well, but I think the trouble was back then. I think that's how almost the whole roster felt.
Well, yeah.
They were on a week, off a week, on a week, off a week. It all depends on how they filmed it.
But that was my introduction to Macias, and he was terrifying back then, man. Oh my God. But he's had legendary feuds in AAA Mexico.
Yeah, mainly AAA. That's where he's been making his bones for a long time.
Yeah. I think one of his main opponents during the years, and I wish they could run it back one last time, but I don't think Vampiro's up for it, but I'd love to see Vampiro do it. I'd love to see Vampiro.
I think I'm supposed to go to a show at the end of next month that Vampiro, I think, is supposed to be on wrestling. So
really,
I'll be interested to see what he's up with, how he is right now, because obviously I haven't seen Vampiro in quite a few years.
Yeah, he's definitely on his, I want to say, on the retirement tour end of things, as far as wrapping up his career soon. If you haven't seen the documentary is amazing. I don't even know if it's available anywhere right now, but a couple of years ago when that came out, it was really something. It's called The Nail in the Coffin, the life of Vampiro or something like that.
Okay.
Now, main event time. X Division title match. Myron Reed, the young goat, versus Leon Slater, defending his championship. Man, what a banger of a match. It just
no, they delivered. When they said this was, because I think it was only announced a few hours before the show that this was main eventing it. They never said the main event of this show. So but they got the spot. I think it was well deserved. Obviously, we know Leon can put on great matches. I think Myron, we've seen him mainly in the tag division, so we didn't see a ton of singles action from him. But he obviously showed, oh yeah, you can put me in a singles match. I'll deliver. He had some of the best spots in the match.
Yeah. Yeah, and I've been a fan of Myron Reed for years. Um, Became a fan of his watching him for years in MLW,
Yep.
and then learned that outside of that and outside of TNA, these guys all tag together in the indies, Pro Wrestling Revolver and other places. So just crazy how good he is, and he the psychology of the match was really something. He would do a move and he'd be kind of sassy towards Leon Slater and kind of, one up him, and he'd one up him in this, one up him in that, and then they would zoom in. You gotta see how they went back and forth with the camera angles on Leon Slater and how they shot this build, because it was amazing.
Okay.
They would zoom in on Leon Slater's face after Myron Reed would do something, and Leon Slater would get more upset and more upset and more pissed off, and he was kicking a rope. He'd go in the corner and be like, "Damn it!" And I think he was getting frustrated at himself too. And then finally, he just blew up, and they both just went freaking cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs against each other, man. It was just nuts. It was so much fun, but it was interesting what made him get to that point. And then of course, over the top rope, what is that Myron Reed? He does the cutter over the top rope to the outside,
Yeah.
flame
Yeah.
on.
Cutter to the ground.
Yeah.
It's similar to kind of like that move Chris Bay was using. It's kind of crazy because you're leaping over and you're doing a cutter, like a midair cutter, while going to the ground. So like a lot of aspects there that could go wrong. But he makes it look very smooth.
Oh yeah, and it takes two to do that.
I saw him line it up. I'm like, do it, Myron, do it.
You're right. It's like, yeah, and then it happens so fast, and then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, it's like, oh my god, and they're just flying. It's wild. And then Leon Slater does his infamous, leap over the corner turnbuckle to the outside.
I was worried about Carlos for a second because he was in that corner.
Oh yeah,
because of some other action had moved him over into the corner. I'm like, uh-oh. Sometimes he gets pretty far in that he gets deep in that corner.
Yeah.
But luckily he did not get too close to the boss man.
Yeah. So, no, I didn't hear about this. Mayor here says, did you hear what Tom said about how it took Leon Slater 24 hours to get to Edmonton? No, that's crazy. So I'm guessing he traveled from the UK.
Yeah. So if he's traveling from over there, you're already what? 10, 11 hours right off the get-go just to go over from there to get over here. And then it's the other side of the country. So you're talking, and not many direct flights. Like you're going from somewhere that goes then into Edmonton. So,
I wonder which way he traveled. Like, did he keep traveling west or did he travel east? I'd be curious.
I would say still west, I would imagine. I think east, you'd still be going farther if you did it that way.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know which way would take longer. So, Michael here. So am I wasting my time cheering on my faves or not? You got to be patient with the storytelling, and I know that's not easy as TNA fans, but you just got to. I always say, just trust.
They do stories here, so you might have to wait a little bit.
Yeah. So it's a lot of this is leading up to a lot of rivalries happening at Bound for Glory, and It's going to be wild. It's going to be a wild show. If you thought this was nuts, wait till Bound for Glory. I thought this was considering a lot of this was put together last minute. I thought this was a great show. It was a lot better than I thought it was going to be.
Agreed.
Lot of drama, a lot of emotion, but the matches were really something.
Yeah, for not knowing a ton going into it, because it really was like, how many matches were made on the fly for tonight? 3? At least 3?
Yeah, it was a handful of them, including
Battle Royal, the Matt Hardy, AJ.
Yeah.
Obviously, then the Knockouts title match, so that's 3 right there.
Ridge Holland, Santana.
Well, that we knew what the other day.
Okay.
We knew that, but it was, once again, a lot of this came together very, like, and they'll put together a show over the last week.
Yeah.
But this one felt like it was even more so, where they had like 5 or 6 matches and added like 4 in the hours or during the show, which is usually during the show they don't do, and they did many during the show.
Yeah, so it was fun, you know. So we started in the pre-show with the X Division, and we ended with the X Division.
Yeah,
and you know, and I missed some of the that first match, the triple threat. So I'm gonna go back and watch.
It's good. Like the Rascals showed up, and obviously Cedric was very good. Like it's definitely worth checking out.
Rick Dawson says Jay's not ready for El Macias versus Maclin. Well, it's this whole, like Bill said, this whole thing is interesting because you think it's aimed at the title itself. So then where does Kaz, you know, land in all this? But if we're just having a match for the sake of having a match, of El Macias wants to get at Maclin, I don't care. I'm down. I love.
Oh yeah, I really want to do it. I'm definitely on board with him showing up and getting involved.
Oh yeah.
That's now one of my most interesting angles. Like it came out of the blue, but I've always been a fan, so I think he'll definitely add some badassery to the roster, which is always good.
Hell yeah. And if that's our introduction to them, including more AAA stuff,
that would be interesting to see, like, because obviously we're going to see even more of the NXT, but we obviously haven't really seen main roster.
Yeah.
But if AAA can be part of that, liaison to that, I think that would be great, because there's still a lot of good talent there.
Yeah. Yeah. Mayor, you got to be patient.
Although we did talk about it a little earlier when I first jumped on.
We did. But yes. After the match, after Leon Slater retained against Myron Reed, Santino came out, and I said, oh, well, if we're this close to Bound for Glory, this has got to be Bound for Glory related. Now, my first thought was, okay, here we go. We're going all out. We're going to have an Ultimate X or something like that, you know. But he didn't go the Ultimate X route. So I'm like, well, if we're not doing Ultimate X, what are we doing? And he was like, well, we've got your opponent for Bound for Glory. And I'm like, oh. So it's like, okay, so we got the brand rivalry here. Who are we going with? And Bill, I couldn't have picked a better name out of a hat, honestly.
I agree. I like it.
They're calling this a dream match. We got Leon Slater versus Javon Evans.
That's a good one. That's a good one. Like, based on the NXT roster right now, like you're gonna have Trick Williams and Javon Evans, and obviously
Kelani Jordan.
You got Kelani on there. Who knows? Like, is Oba gonna wind up on this show by the end of it? Maybe.
Wow. I don't. I mean, it could. It kind of. Well, it kind of depends on what happens tomorrow.
Oh yeah, no, a lot will depend because obviously NXT has their show, TNA has their show with the tapings.
Yeah.
So a lot's going to determine like who's where versus what.
Yeah.
But once again, they were down there last week. If they really want people involved in stuff, they can tape it. Like, where do you think that Javon Evans video came from?
Well, yeah. Yeah.
So they may have done another 10 of those videos for all we know.
Yeah, who knows? But this is just the start, and it's heating up quick. This is the final weeks before Bound for Glory.
Gonna get hot.
Yeah, yeah. So like I wrote on the cover here, did NXT get some payback? I think they kind of did, Bill.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the knockouts.
I agree.
The knockouts title got switched back to NXT. Trick knocked out Santana.
Yeah. No, NXT was looking pretty good. Pretty good tonight.
Yeah. Along with Javon getting announced. And and this is besides the fact, but we got an appearance and interference from the old Judas Macias, El Macias.
Okay.
So yeah, it's a save state. Thinks we're gonna get an invasion PLE like the old days. Maybe.
It could happen. It's like I said, I know when we talk about it, I just don't see it happening soon. If it happens,
yeah. We gotta
this partnership. You don't want to go there that quick.
We got to let some of this simmer. Some of this is obviously going to happen at Bound for Glory, and that's going to be a good portion of it. But they're going to want to let this simmer and let this play out. It's not going to be snap, 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 done, done, done. Mm-hmm. We started this. Now let's take our time with it. Let's not rush this. So.
Oh yeah.
So, yeah, any last thoughts before we get out of here, Bill?
No, I'm looking forward to see how Edmonton shows with the tapings versus obviously this live show, but they brought it. So a good market there for sure. They showed out for, once again, it was a live show. It was a TNA Plus special. But no, they definitely supported it. I could see them. As long as the TV doesn't have a crazy drop, it has more your average drop, then I could see them coming back here for sure. And just like they did with El Paso, they were so happy with El Paso, they're already going back there again. Like that's like you find a good market, you just got to be careful where you don't do it too much if you then do it again,
right?
Because that does happen in these markets. Like I think Chicago had that happen; they got burned out. I think probably post AEW, Philly got burned out. So same thing. Like it's like there are some great wrestling towns in both America, Canada, Europe, Mexico. Like there's great wrestling towns everywhere. But if the same companies just keep running it, you do lose a little momentum. You do lose it. Like even ECW knew, all right, we're doing great in Philly, but we got to go to New York. We got to go other places, and then we got to go even further than that. Because like that is the one thing when we talk about like NXT, the Performance Center, it's a bubble. It is a bubble, and that's a reason why some people don't succeed when they get called up to that main roster, because you're not getting a diverse opinion from the consumers. It's the same people every week watching that show in person. Yeah. So you got to be careful. And I think TNA knows, like during the same thing, during the Impact Zone days, it was very similar. But they did have, like they had the hardcore people, like the people on the floor, they were there all the time. But the people in the stands, a lot of them weren't even wrestling fans, so it was a different dynamic there. So, well, once again, you just gotta keep going. But it feels like the invasion, the NXT, TNA angle. If you're digging that, I think you're gonna really like what's coming up throughout the rest of the year. Really, if you're not, then you might. Hopefully, you give it a shot, and maybe they can pull you in with it. But I think you're going to be seeing a lot more of what we saw tonight.
Yeah. So, but yeah, it's gonna be fun watching this all, take shape over the next days, weeks, and months to come. So,
definitely,
yeah. And the TV deal is coming because Trick keeps on bringing it up.
Oh yeah, no, he won't shut up about it. So there's got to be something. But yeah, like it does feel like it is getting closer and closer to be a Bound for Glory or week of Bound for Glory announcement.
Yeah,
that he can take all the credit for.
Yeah. And what's going to happen after that is going to be very interesting because there's no TNA dates for a month.
Correct.
So I don't know. We'll have to see what they got planned.
They have something planned.
I'm sure.
We'll see what it is.
Yeah.
But I think it will. The more we're seeing what's going on storyline wise, it probably will involve something with NXT, I imagine.
It makes sense.
But even if they're not, there'll be a strong TNA presence during that time on NXT.
Oh, yeah. No doubt.
Especially if it is the same network where they are or something similar in the family of WWE programming. I think that will make a lot of sense, the crossover appeal that could be had while they're technically not taping new content. They might have access to a lot of like we saw tonight with NXT, where you'll see still them airing whatever backstage stuff, matches in the can, plus stuff they're getting with NXT at the Performance Center.
Yeah. So all right. Well, it's late. It's I don't know what time it is there, but it's late here, and I got to work tomorrow.
Oh, it's late everywhere, J-Bone.
Yeah, this is true. This is true. So much love, everyone. You guys know what to do. Smash that like button, smash that sub button, ring that bell for notifications so that you know when more of our content hits your screen. Say good night, Bill.
Good night, everybody.
We'll see you soon.